Artemis II consists of Reed Wiseman, Jeremy Hansen, Victor Glover, and Christina Cook. As a commander, a pilot, and then 2 mission specialists. Now these 4 astronauts go around the world, around the moon, and then back to Earth in that Orion capsule. To our space laws that were put in place in the 70s. Now this has currently been signed by upwards of 36 countries, which is huge compared to the 15 that originally signed on with the International Space Station. Now this lays out some practices for safe and ethical space exploration, including things like emergency assistance, sharing resources, and tracking of orbital debris. Now, these are all things that will help us as we extend our reach outwards to Mars. And lastly, NASA has encouraged its partners to make new technology for this program and to affect you every day. See things in your own household, like your microwave, your anti-scratch glasses, your memory foam mattress. All those things and more trace back to space exploration. So, even though we are working to get ourselves back to the moon, we are building a better life for ourselves here on Earth too. But at this point, I would like to thank all of you for taking some time to learn about this amazing new mission. Be sure to follow us on all the Artemis social medias. You won't want to Artemis what's coming next. Again, my name is Aubrey. If you have any questions at all, I'm happy to answer them over here off the side. And the next movie to play in this theater will start in just a couple minutes. Once again, thank you guys for joining me, and I hope the rest of your day is out of this world.
De onderkant van de Space Shuttle, de tegeltjes. Even inzoomen, de tegeltjes.
En astronaut training facilities in de eerste 2. Die zijn gratis.
It's one of the strangest sights in all of aviation. A 747 airliner piggybacking a 165,000-pound space shuttle. Who dreamed up this remarkable partnership of an airplane and an orbiter? Whose imagination saw Earth return the shuttle to its place? And his name is John David. John David was senior astronaut in the space shuttle program. Proposed his piggybacking idea to the space shuttle, we all know it's a magnificent machine. After 135 missions and so many great pictures beamed from space, we can almost take this amazing orbiter for granted. The first surprise is just how much creative thinking and hard work went into designing and testing the shuttle. Though the earliest mission didn't take place until 1981, plans for a reusable space vehicle were underway even before we landed on the moon in 1969. Of course, designing it took wild creativity, plus the most sophisticated engineering.
Well, space shuttle is a very complex vehicle, probably the most that's ever been built.
There was a recognition that there needed to be some low-speed aerodynamic testing before committing to space and coming back from space and trying to count on a landing.
Then came test after test, and finally April 12, 1981.
Well, STS-1 was important because if you're going to have a program, you got to have a number one somewhere on the thing. And our main job was to get it back down. That was very handy. That's all we had accomplished. But it worked probably better than most of us realized it was going to.
We established a beachhead with the space shuttle. That allowed us to gain a lot more experience up there. We were able to develop a lot of new systems that we can use for the future.
The space shuttle was designed to be able to carry out a wide variety of activities. We got a lot of different kinds of science experiments. The payload bay was designed not only to be able to deploy satellites, but also to carry out big things like actual laboratories.
I think that if we had not had the shuttle launcher program, then we would not have the very, very successful ISS program we have today with the great international cooperation that we have.
Gave us so much capability that we did not possess before.
In one sense, you could say the shuttle missions merely took 355 astronauts and cosmonauts into orbits that were just a couple hundred miles above our home planet. In another sense, they took all of humanity to the farthest reaches of the universe. From early on, shuttle crews were diverse. In June 1983, Sally Ride became the first American woman in space, followed just months later by Guy Bluford, the first African-American astronaut. Altogether, men and women from 16 countries have flown on shuttle missions.
The success of the space shuttle program was really moving from an era where very few people had the opportunity to go into space into one where several hundred have.
So I flew STS-63 in 1995, and yes, it was the first time that a woman had piloted the space shuttle. I think as far as my job, I did it just like the men before me had done it.
So I was sitting there, and then the solid rocket split, and I first thought it was really going to go somewhere.
And it did shake. When we had the solid rockets going on for the first 2 minutes, it was, I kind of likened it riding down a bumpy country road. It was kind of like that, but you can still radius and demonstrate your checklist and do your job.
I would hope that future generations would look at the things that we developed in the course of the space shuttle program and the improvements in technology, the improvements in things that we were able to do.
I think the legacy of the space shuttle program is that it didn't allow a lot of people to fly in space over a long period of time. It allowed us to have a reflyable vehicle that was new technology.
It was really, in my time, it was just a dream come true to have the opportunity to fly in the shuttle. But the United States can be very proud of their shuttle program.
During the shuttle's 30-year history, what we've learned about space has been mind-boggling. But the orbiters have also turned their cameras and sensors down toward Earth, and we've learned a lot about weather, pollution, and even the effects of a warming planet on the ocean. The shuttle fleet was retired from service after Atlantis touched down on July 21st, 2011. But the shuttle's lessons will continue year after year. What we've learned and the technology we've created have set the stage for the next generation of dreamers and explorers. Some of them may be here in this room today. One of them may be you.
It's got to be one of the most proud moments of my life, I guarantee you.
Moscow is go for docking. Houston is go for docking. It's up to you guys. Have fun.
All right, sounds good. Mom, please don't forget about the other engine. Very happy to see you.
lights in the night sky. We've crossed the solar system and sent ships to the stars. But we continue to search. We can't help it. A central element of the human future lies far beyond the Earth. Some cosmic purpose, then let us find ourselves a worthy goal.
Kind of gives you the chills, doesn't it? Well, now, have you ever gone outside on a clear night and looked up at the stars and wondered, what's out there? Well, this is a question that we've asked ourselves since the dawn of mankind. But it wasn't until the 1600s that we started to get a better idea of what was out there, when explorers like Galileo invented the first telescopes. And just within the last 50 years alone, we have made incredible progress in the exploration of the cosmos with the introduction of powerful space telescopes like Compton, Spitzer, Chandra, and Hubble. Just by a show of hands, has anybody here ever heard of the Hubble Space Telescope? All right, quite a few of y'all. I like seeing that. But for those who may not know, ever since 1990, this revolutionary and school bus-sized telescope has sent back to Earth thousands of amazing images of distant stars, nebulae, galaxies, and planets. Now, Hubble was last serviced and updated by astronauts in 2009, but it will continue to remain in operation until the end of this decade. Galaxies that formed after the Big Bang, as well as to peer deep inside of intergalactic dust clouds where stars and planets are formed. And as I just mentioned, James Webb is an infrared telescope. Now, infrared is one of 7 different kinds of light. It's a kind of light that you and I can't see with our own eyes, but James Webb surely can. And Webb utilizes the larger and longer wavelengths of infrared light in order to capture images of objects that are very cold or very, very distant. Things that we wouldn't have been able to see with just the visible light spectrum that Hubble sees. But why exactly did we need an infrared telescope? Well, as the oldest galaxies in the universe age and grow more distant with the expansion of the universe, they go through a process called redshift. This essentially means that the wavelengths of the galaxy's light grow larger and longer, causing the galaxy to appear more red and more faint until those wavelengths get so large that the galaxy just disappears from the visible light spectrum altogether, and it can only be detected via infrared light. The higher the redshift is, the older the galaxy is. So now that we've determined that we needed an infrared telescope, well, how did we get to where we are today? Well, NASA had been developing concepts for a successor to Hubble as early as the 1980s. But construction on James Webb didn't get underway until 2004. And yes, folks, it takes a very long time to develop such sophisticated technology as this. And by the way, the James Webb Telescope was named after James E. Webb, who served as NASA's administrator during the Gemini and Apollo programs. And in 2017, the nearly completed telescope was sealed inside of a vacuum chamber next door at Johnson Space Center for 100 days, while it underwent testing of its durability by subjecting it to a simulation of the harsh climate of space.
Seconds.